Hi, I'm Steve Wright. I'm a puppeteer and I've run my own puppet theatre company based in West Yorkshire in England for the past 25 years, and I've had quite a varied and interesting career, and one of the highlights was being invited to Buckingham Palace to be recognised for my contribution to education. It seems a long time ago, October 2003 now, but there are some nights you never forget in your life, and going inside Buckingham Palace for me was definitely one of them. It was an honour I wouldn't say I'm an ardent royalist, but I've got a lot of respect for the Queen and the job she's done over a lifetime, and to meet her and to have a meaningful conversation with her about my work, and for her to offer her support and thanks for the work was incredible. I must have spent 4 or 5 minutes actually just talking to her in a great conversation. I was buzzing after that. So I got saw the Duke of Edinburgh after that, and then I met Prince Andrew. As I stood around with Prince Andrew and a few of the other invited guests, I felt a little bit out of my depth. Some of the other guests mentioned where they'd got their starts, and I felt a little bit financially sort of out of my depth. I was just a working class puppeteer from the north of England. So I said that. The conversation came around to me, and I said, I'm a puppeteer. I just do puppet shows and people seem to like them. And at that point the conversation stopped, and there was a couple of seconds of people not knowing what to say. But Andrew did. He launched into this story about the whereabouts of his own likeness, the spitting image puppet that had been auctioned prior to that event in Buckingham Palace. And he told me that his friend in New York had bought the puppet and had set it up on the settee, so when Andrew came round to be confronted with his own likeness on the settee, he nearly had a bloody heart attack. And I was, at the time, oh, okay, you could buy your spitting image puppet, you know, it's again a mark of the privilege. They were very sought after, those puppets, and very expensive. So 17 years later, when he makes a mess of the interview with Emily Maitlis and exposes himself, I got thinking about the mention of him being in New York. He told me he'd been in New York in the noughties, and here he was denying everything. The next thing that made me put two and two together was Virginia Giuffre's testament about being abused by a puppet character, and that being used to fondle her and another woman in Jeffrey Epstein's apartment in New York. And it was like a light bulb. Of course, that's what he said in Buckingham Palace. He was talking about Jeffrey Epstein's apartment. He was talking about the puppet bought at the auction. So, you know, the testimony has to be believed. He's put himself there in that apartment and acknowledged, to me at least, the existence of this puppet, and to the other people obviously present at Buckingham Palace. He did stop the story short after that, but the rest of it seemed to come out, and for me, I thought, oh my gosh, all those things add up. When Virginia Giuffre's testament came out about an episode with a puppet, I mean, why would she mention a puppet? And the trial has exposed the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is calling her a liar. Everything she says is a lie. That's what Prince Andrew said. Everything she says is a lie. And I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's fair. And I've looked at her and seen her in the public eye. She has had a terrible, terrible time. And that shouldn't happen to people. And the things that happened, she was trafficked and she was abused as a young woman. It's a disgrace.